We're back at our Crane's Roost studios today, off work, actually waiting to do a tele appointment with a doctor about my shoulder. It's not really hurting me too much today, even though it's still a little sore, but I wanted to talk to him about getting some FMLA for my shoulder. Had it broken when I was young. Probably got some arthritis in it or something. But I thought I'd hang out down here. It's pretty nice right now this morning here. The sun's not quite up. The question I wanted to talk about today is whether or not you're too picky to find true love. You know, a lot of people, they have pretty demanding standards for anyone that they want to be involved with. And certainly you want to have some kind of standards if you're talking about someone you might want to spend the rest of your life with. The question is, though, can you be too picky? And that doesn't just apply to us as men, you know. If you think about it specifically in terms of Filipino relationships, or getting married to someone from the Philippines, you can be too picky sometimes, which a lot of people say, well, how can you possibly be too picky? You want to find the right person. But it's the same too, even with the women can be too picky. My wife told me one time about one of their friends that she went to college with, used to share an apartment with her over there, and said that everybody was always telling her she's too picky. She had some guy, I guess, that everybody thought was so perfect. I think he was a young guy from, I don't know if he's from America or somewhere, that was really interested in her, and there was always just something wrong though with someone, and she could never find the perfect guy, and they used to tell her, well, you're just too picky. So that's an interesting question. If you're looking for someone that you want to spend your life with forever, don't you want to be picky? You don't want to just say, well, anybody will do. But it's possible sometimes to be too picky. You get involved with someone, and there's just always starts out well, and things are looking good. And you think to yourself, wow, this could really be something special. And then, before too long, there's some little thing about her that you just, I can't put up with that. I don't like this, or I don't like that. And you just call it quits and say, that's okay, I'll go and I'll find the right one. I saw a video popped up on my feed on YouTube the other day. I didn't actually watch it because I didn't have time to see exactly what it was about. But it's about something about some guy who'd been in the Philippines for like 2 years and still hadn't been able to find the right girl, the right Filipina. But a lot of guys do this. They go through one person after another, and there's always something wrong with them. Always something wrong with the people. And you have to wonder, after you go through a certain number of women, is there really nothing there that you can work with? You're never going to find someone who is absolutely perfect, especially if you go into a relationship with some kind of pre-planned list of requirements that the person has to meet. Because those preconceived fantasy ideas of just this little thing has to be checked off of my list, and this thing and that thing, it's just never going to work, It's pretty much impossible. And a lot of times, if you find someone like that, either they're playing a game and they're pretending, or else there's just something wrong somewhere, It's just unusual to find something like that. And oftentimes, as I said one time before in a video, sometimes you're better off, instead of trying to make up a list to find someone who meets all those requirements, to just find someone who kind of surprises you. and you make that connection. And part of a really good relationship, I think, is that joy of discovery, getting to know someone over a very long period of time and learning new things about them. The idea that you are going to be able to know everything about someone right at the start and say, okay, this person checks all my boxes and everything's going to be fine and we can make it work, is, first of all, it's unrealistic, because there's no way you can possibly know everything about someone, even if you spend 5-10 years with them. And secondly, because part of the joy of life is that constant journey of discovery and learning new things about someone and finding out things that maybe you didn't know before, things that kind of surprise you and delight you, and just little things that you might have been with someone for 10 years and then one day suddenly you realize, wow, this is something I never really understood or realized about this person, and you learn all these new dimensions to that person. And it's just like with us, there's a lot of things that when we get involved with someone, they're not going to be able to know about us to start with. And hopefully we can find someone who, as they learn new things about us, they're not just going to say, oh, well, that was unexpected, I'm going to get rid of this person. But they'll say, oh, okay, there's something else I didn't know about this person. And get to be able, something that, if you have true love for that person and you really enjoy being with them, this is something that you can appreciate about them. I know there have been times before where my wife has said, like how many different personalities I have, which I have to say is true. I've been into a lot of different things through the years, done a lot of different things, and I have so many very different interests in so many different topics that if someone's around me for very long, sooner or later they're going to find some topic that I am interested in or can have a detailed conversation about that they never knew I knew anything about, But that, to me, is part of the joy of being with someone. I know some people don't like, one person made a comment on one of my videos, maybe I should just stay in one spot instead of moving around because they were getting vertigo. But I kind of like to show this place sometimes. People like to see it. And also, you got your various different little homeless people and joggers and people running around here. So sometimes you just kind of want to move to a different spot. But my advice would be, don't be too picky. You want to be picky in terms of certain things. If you have certain basic requirements, you want to be able to trust someone and know enough about them to realize that, that you should be able to trust them and be a good partner for a long period of time without having to worry about things that aren't good about them coming to the surface. But we all have imperfections. Every single one of us has imperfections, and we expect our partner to be willing to deal with our imperfections and put up with those things, so we need to be that way too. A lot of guys, of course, they have the attitude, well, their imperfections are okay. They think that, especially you get somebody who's older at a certain point in their life and they're trying to find some young woman to spend their time with, they think that their imperfections don't really matter, They are who they are. They're at that point, a person can accept them, and they think that they should be looked at as some kind of a savior or something, like they're really helping this person out and improving their life and giving them everything they could possibly want, and that's good enough, But, man, you get involved with some young woman in the Philippines, you need to realize that if she was super picky, she could probably find a lot of things about you too that are not perfect, okay? And on balance, we have to say, okay, well, there's more good here than bad, and if you have that certain spark with someone and you appreciate them and enjoy being around them, that's what counts, you know? Too many people start out with the idea that they're going to find perfection and the perfect person, the perfect man, the perfect woman, and then get together with them and everything's going to be fine. And in real life, that's not the way it works. We find someone who is someone that we can work with and that we can spend our life with and become more and more, closer to as the years go by. That's what it's really all about. Finding perfection at the start is not going to happen. You have to find a partner you can work with and then build a life together. And if you're both totally complete and set in your ways to start with, what is there to build, How are you supposed to become like, one person, become a really good partnership, a really good, couple, if both of you already have everything you need? You've already become everything that you're going to become before you even get together. As you get to know each other and become closer and build a partnership, you become one person, you kind of grow together and become a unit. And that's not something that you can predict in advance, find somebody who's going to be the perfect person and say, okay, this is it, now I'm good to go. I saw a video a while back by someone, it's a rabbi who did, marriage counseling and stuff for a lot of years. But he was talking about the difference between a man and a woman and a husband and a wife. You talk about a man, like he's out flirting with people and stuff all the time and things like that. And then someone says, well, hey, that's what he is. He's a man. That's what men do. They want to show off, be the peacock and have all the ladies looking at them and admiring them. And as he pointed out, well, that's the problem, That might be what a man does, but it's not what a husband does. So you have to ask yourself, are you a husband or just a man? Same thing with a wife. I remember my wife told me one time that her mom told her when she was still over in the Philippines, while we were doing the paperwork to get her over here to America, her mom said one time, told her, you have to remember that you're a married woman now. And, things that you could do before without people talking about it and everything, you can't do now, like go out, run around somewhere, hang out with like some other guy or whatever who might just be a friend or whatever, but it's different, when you're married, it's a different thing. So there's a lot of changes that happen whenever you become a partner with someone else in that way, and you get married and you're supposed to be there with each other. And a lot of people, they don't really have that view of things. They don't look at it as, okay, I found this person and now we're together and that's it. It's this person and me, one unit against the rest of the world, so to speak. They want to be with someone, but then still keep their options open and look around instead of trying to just make that relationship work. And then they wonder why they can't find the right person, You may have found the right person. It's not going to be perfect to start with, but the main thing is you have to have two people who are willing to make a full commitment to making it work. And if you don't have that, it doesn't matter who you find. It's always going to be a temporary thing, because even if you think someone's perfect, if you and that other person don't both have that intense commitment to making sure that, hey, we're going to make this work no matter what, then something's going to happen where it ends. So don't be too picky, You have to be picky enough, but you can be so picky that you'll never find someone.